Just come and follow me, follow me, follow me. If you're loving, know that it is alright. And if you're teaching, yes.
Yes, people, you know what? A great artist once again by the great sounds of Kumar right there. Okay, that particular track was called It's Alright. And you know what? Sometimes that's all we can do is just be alright. And of course, we've got him on the line right now. So Kumar, how you doing?
Greetings, DJKAT, our work family. We're there, man. Give thanks.
Yeah, man, every time. So, tell the listeners out there, who is Kumar? Tell us a little something about you.
Well, Kumar, musician, singer, songwriter, producer. I mean, we've been making music for over 12, 13 years. Former lead singer of Raging Fire band, over 10 years in the band, recorded 3 albums. So, I mean, I've been around the block touring, around the world and playing roots rocking reggae music. And now I'm solo, on my own, and I released my first album, in May. So right now it's really about just promoting the music and keeping it positive, constantly same way. I'm still playing and singing all the songs that people might have known me for in Raging Fire.
Yeah.
And I'm here right now putting out more fire,
Definitely. So tell us, first of all, what made you leave the band Raging Fire, and how have you found that journey of becoming a solo artist?
Well, I mean, like anything else in life, it comes with challenges, in terms of, pushing through on a daily basis and making sure I'm on top of things. But I mean, reasons for leaving the band, were personal as well as I think the time, for me, in my eyes, had come for me to just, do something that's for Kumar. Because, band life not that easy as most people might know.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to keep any group or band or whatever together. And, discipline is the first part. So I think over the years, we worked really hard as a team and pushing out good music, and I think in the end, that's what I'm grateful for. It was like me going to college, it was like me going to university to get my master's in music, because it's excellent musicians, that I was around. And that period of time for me, I was learning a lot. And now, all that I've learned, I'm now able to actually not make the same mistakes that we were making as a band, and I think, decisions could have been made differently in terms of moving forward or whatever with the band. But I think, in life, sometimes you just gotta do your best, and just go side of the rest.
Definitely. You know what? I've got to say it takes some courage, I suppose, to say, you know what, now it's time to, step away from your comfort zone, because it does become comfortable, So, yeah, man, big respect.
It has become comfortable, yeah.
For real. So, how have you found being a solo artist now? How is your journey kicked off with being a solo artist?
Well, I'm having fun, and I feel like 10 years ago again, when I was doing the Judgment Day album, and writing a lot of those songs, I kind of feel brand new. I feel fresh again, because now I think the fans and the listeners worldwide have a chance to get to know Kumar, because sometimes when you're in a band, people don't really understand your ideologies and, where you stand in the scheme of all things, because they have to represent the brand, which is the band. So I think now that I'm solo, I'm able to say what's on my mind, and if it affects me, then it affects me. But I think it's best to be able to be free, to express yourself, and that helps a lot with writing music. So I think in my writing now, if you listen to my album Culture Walk, you realize that, most of the topics that I'm writing about is stuff that, it's thoughtful. You could sit and think and have conversations around each song.
Definitely. For real. So tell us about your exciting adventure, your album Culture Walk with a K, Culture Spot with a K, people. Okay?
Yes.
Tell us about that album, how it came about, why. Tell us the whole who, why, what, where, when.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I left the band Culture Walk, my good friend, Deborah, who's my engineer, was the engineer in Raging Fire when we just started. So he spent like 4 years in Raging Fire, and he left the band about 2014 then. Because there was 6 of us in the beginning. So, long story short, I left Raging Fire 2018, and Debo linked up back, and, we started hanging out, and he suggested to me, you should do a tour, like an acoustic tour, just going out there performing the Raging Fire songs as well as doing your thing, your new music. And I thought it was a good idea, so we headed out on the road with the assistance of my now manager, Daniel Pata, and Luis Ribeiro, who was the booking agent, So we formed a small team, and that led to, being on the road, realizing that, I need to, organize myself and do an album, and try my best. So that's how I linked up with Bono in Italy while on that trip, and I made a few connections, and then I immediately went back to Europe after the tour to get, more work done in studio with, Bono and different people, and management was there, on my side now, helping me to organize all these journeys. I ended up in Indonesia, Bali, a lot of these countries, researching and performing and playing music, not on the level that I was doing it with the band, but I was just learning. So I was traveling to a lot of cultures, getting, a feel of what, other parts of the world outside of Europe and America were like, Mauritius, so it was very exciting putting the project together. And while it didn't reflect a lot of the musical abilities from all of these cultures, I think just the experience that I had, allowed me to open my mind a little bit more to create, the music, that I created.
Definitely. And what kind of, for those who are listening and they're thinking, I want to check this album out, but what kind of vibe do you think it is? What kind of genre? How would you describe it to the listeners out there?
Well, it's culture walk, that's the genre. Because honestly, most people, my original fans, who know me around the world, they're like, oh, Kumar, the album didn't have enough roots rock in reggae, which, I could agree. And I specifically, intentionally did that because I did 3 albums like that where people got the roots feeling from me. But there's so much more to Kumar. So I decided to make an album where I touched a little bit, like, for example, on Remember Me.
Yeah.
It's a more 90s hip-hop beat, but it's still rootsy. If you listen to the horns first and you listen to certain things in it, I made sure to keep my root in the songs. Songs like Trading Places, it's very armed marching, it's very, it's very rootsy. It was like a bingy chant without the bingy, but it's still modern in terms of what the youth would listen to. Songs like Sailing, it's a little bit more jazzy with more, of a pop feel. Jamaica is like a third world. So when you listen to the album, there's different elements and feeling. I have Dead Prez on the album, M1, which is also a hip-hop, solid hip-hop, but it's also a disco kind of vibe from the 70s, 80s, So it's really a broad range of, musical taste that I try to implement on this culture war, just to feel good within myself as well, that I could create this body of work. And there's fans appreciating the effort, that, this album bad and it's different, but we love it. And they're looking forward to the Roots album, which is coming. There's a solid project of some serious revolutionary roots, that we have coming. But I had to do this album.
Yeah.
So I think, making Culture Walk was just giving myself the confidence again as a solo artist. To really step out there and establish myself, not just in reggae, but as an artist, as a musician who is capable of spreading his wings across, the whole platform of the music sphere. So it was just really Kumar pushing out.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So one of my favorite tracks is Grain of Sand with Agent Sasko. Tell us something about that one.
The Grain of Sand, that song was actually the second song that was done towards this album.
Okay.
With the help of Robert Livingston and Riff Raff, because Lamar Brown is the producer of this record.
Yeah.
And making this song, immediately Robert Livingston called me. He's like, Kumar, I have this beat. I told Riff Raff to get me some rhythms, and Riff Raff brought them to the studio, and he was like, yo, listen to this. Immediately when I heard it, I started hearing Small as a Grain of Sand. And, I was humming it, and they're like, yo, we like that melody. The following day, I decided that, I'm going to sing this song, because in the night, it was stuck in my head.
Okay.
So I recorded this song, and we had it for like 6 months. And then one day again, Riff Raff was like, yo, I think we should feature Sasko on this song. And I was like, yo, yeah, that would be bad. Within a week, we had Sasko on the record. And my second verse ended up being a third verse. And the song just kind of shifted, but then it became the song that we wanted it to become, because we needed that energy from dancehall as well as, that serious vibes,
Yeah.
So I think Grain of Sand is a bit dancehall to me, as well as it has feelings from the Middle East and all over the world, in terms of the chord structure. So, yeah, culture walk.
Yeah, for real. So, who who do you look up to? Who have you gained inspiration from in terms of music, in terms of life?
Well, I really and truly listen to a whole heap of, what I call it now, roots rocking music,
Yeah.
rubber dub music, so most of that era I listen to as music.
Yeah.
And then, as influential people, around the world or in just my genre and in my time, to be specific, you have artists that I really admire how they approach the industry and not just the music, just the entire industry, like Grota J, and how he does his thing by helping Legal and all of these other artists to rise.
Yeah.
I think stuff like this is very inspiring and should be inspiring to a lot of artists, because then you get to see somebody else's trials and errors and they're actually showing you that it's possible also. So for me, I think that's a big inspiration in terms of, knowing how to move and how to get your music out there as an independent artist. Because, it's very important. And then when you talk about, politics and you're going to all of that kind of stuff, for me, I read a lot, and right now I'm reading Charles Mills, his book on the racial contract and stuff like that. So I'm very much into, making myself aware. So there's no specific, thing I just cling to. I'm trying to read more. I'm trying to, look at my peers more and see who's really, focused and take something out of their book, because that's how the music works and that's how life works. Learn from others. So I think daily life does that for me,
Definitely. So, what do you think the value of albums is compared to, say, doing singles?
Yeah, well, I mean, album wise, I think it's best for artists to have a body of work. Whether you want to call it an EP or whatever, it's good when you have a body of work that, it reflects on stage. Unless you're not the artist who plans to go on tour. That's my mindset. And whenever I'm on tour, I want to have a body of work performing and not just a lot of singles that I have. It should be something sort of like an experience rather than just, a quick pop-up. So I think when people come to my show, they should be experiencing a journey from the first song to the last song. This is a package. This is the show that you're getting, and it all ties in. You could buy the CD. You could stream it online in that same format. So you're getting an experience from a body of work, rather than having 100 singles that are all hit songs, but then they're all hit songs that sound the same, or all songs that actually the story doesn't tell a story. So I think for me personally, I prefer having, albums and working on albums. And when I do release singles, sometimes they eventually become a part of the album.
Yeah.
So it has to be something organized for me personally. I don't know how it works for everybody else, but I like albums.
For real. So, what do you think makes you different from any other artists out there?
Well, I am different for sure, because no two people are alike. But as an artist, I think I'm very, driven, and a lot of artists can claim that as well. But I think I have a certain passion for music where it doesn't lie within just the money, or just, trying to make a living from it. Whether or not, if I should not be able to tour tomorrow or play music on the level that we should, God forbid, then I'm quite comfortable still playing my guitar at home to my kids and, having fun in the farm.
Yeah.
Because music, is something that happens to you, It's something that you have to allow to happen to you, And I can't live without it. A lot of artists, maybe they could, so... and also, I think I sing with a lot of passion and a lot of soul. So if I can't give you a certain feeling, then you're not gonna, I'm not gonna perform it. I might record a song, and then if I don't feel it when I'm singing it in rehearsal and it, then it's not gonna be in the show.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to take that approach towards recording in the first place.
True.
Like, if I'm gonna record something, it has to be of value. In terms of a feeling. It can't just be, just another record because you're trying to help out a brother. So you just voice a song game on a rhythm and then it doesn't become something.
Yeah.
I think we have to take more consideration into our content and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Definitely. So, how do you, as an artist, decide who's going to be beside you on a project or what artist you're going to pick? How does that whole process work?
Well, I mean, I work with a lot of different people, but then the songs will speak for themselves.
Okay.
So energy. So if I'm around you and I'm in the studio and we ended up working on a record, you know, we know if it's a boom song. We know if it's a great record.
Yeah.
You know, because you can feel that. So I think that's usually the last factor to consider.
Okay.
The song, you know. So sometimes you might, you know, be surprised to get a rhythm from somebody that you didn't know you were gonna find that song on that particular track. You know, and
real.
it happened, and you know. It happens.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a chance sometimes in life on where your energy lies. But my thing lies in creating the music. So I don't like when people send me a rhythm. I prefer to be in the studio with you and we work on something from scratch.
Yeah.
So that way, you know, we have our energy going in, you know. But sometimes it works the other way. No doubt.
For real. So what do you do outside of music? What are your hobbies?
Well, my hobbies are, I love reading. You know, it takes a lot of the phone away from me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm usually in the farm with my family, you know, because we have some farm that we grow string bean, cabbage, and watermelon and sweet pepper. So we have a few things on the farm which takes up a little time as well. And then, you know, also in between all of that, you know, I play tennis. I like to play tennis. You know, so yeah, stuff like that. I'm a family man, so I hang out with my family most of the time, and
That's
you know,
good.
just try and keep those games, those family games going, you know, Uno and some little things, you know, and it's fun.
Yeah, you know, I respect that fully. I respect that, definitely. So obviously, Corona has been going about everywhere. What has this time allowed you to do that you wasn't able to do before?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience. That's what this did.
Okay.
Because, you know, when everything is going the way you want it to go and you are able to maneuver your way through situations sometimes, you forget that sometimes you have to be patient. Sometimes you have to wait.
Yeah.
You know, and I think with this waiting, you know, it shows us that, you know, 1,000 days is really just a day.
Yeah.
You know, in the scheme of things, you know. So I mean, for me, I think I've learned that much now, that you have to be patient, no matter what. Like, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything. Everything is shut down. What if that was life? So you have to be slowly pulling back on the things that you would not normally have been doing, like your usage of the internet and the usage of all of these things that we depend on so much.
Yeah.
So for me, I've learned now that, you better have something else doing with your brain.
True.
You know, like you have to be exercising your brain in other aspects of life rather than just getting all the information presented to you through this device. So, you know, it's patience, man. I'm learning now how to, you know, remember stuff from I was small that I used to do.
Yeah.
You know, this time has taught me a lot.
That's good. That's good. But you know what? Every day we're learning, so that's good.
Yeah, man.
So, what would you like to say to the listeners out there who are either hearing you for the first time or have been fans of yours for a very long time? What would you like to say to them?
Well, thank you, first of all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And thank you for those who have been, you know, with me for the last 10 years on the journey, you know, with music. And to the new listeners and new people who might want to follow me, you know, I'm on Instagram at Kumar Fire, you know, KUMARFYAH, you know, and YouTube, Facebook, you know, everywhere. But at the end of the day, I'm very grateful, you know, that people would take their time to, you know, listen to positivity and, you know, support positivity, because I've gotten a lot of support since I've become a solo artist. So it just shows that, you know, there's a lot of love out there in the world, not just for Kumar, but for everybody who's willing to speak life, to speak positivity. So we give thanks for that, man. And, you know, we respect people, you know, out there on the earth. So look forward to touring soon and coming to your city. I mean, look out for Kumar.
Yeah, definitely. So, would you be up for singing a little something live of your choice?
Yeah, man.
Okay, whenever you're ready and whatever you're feeling.
Yes, so I make them know. Arawak family. So this song, it's called Remember Me. It was the lead single of my album, released 2 months now. The video is on YouTube. You can search Kumar, you know, Remember Me. and you'll see the video, and that will take you to other videos that I've released from the album and other performances. But this one goes something like this. Before I be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave. Oh, Jah, Jah, do remember me. Yes, before I be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave. Oh, Jah, Jah, do remember me. Do remember me. The youth them know what days now old no order. Everyone still a try cross the border. No one to blame, can't point your finger when the days them numbered. Gas cylinder, me say, grow what you eat, youth. Doctor said me did that talk, you must speak truth. From the other day, everything blend up with the beetroot. Straight greens, man, I shut up, you me feel good. Before I be them slave, I'd be buried in my grave. Oh, Jah, Jah, do remember me. Yes, Arawak now be them slave. No, we no bury in a them grave. No, Jah, Jah, do remember me. Do remember me. Because them banking the money in a pig. Them still can't show me where them live now. Them don't even know where they came from. It's like they came from a strange land. Them nowadays I get sick. Every granny me know diabetic. So before you start move slick, please don't put your money in the toilet now. Before I be them slave.
Yeah. Yeah, for real, for real. You know what? I've really enjoyed speaking with you, and you know what? When we can all move about, you should definitely come to the UK for sure.
For sure, man. For sure, we love the UK. We have a nice, family in the UK. Rob and the whole, family in the UK. So really and truly, we have to give thanks. Years upon years of the support, from the UK family. So sooner rather than later.
Definitely. Definitely. You know what, I have to say a big thank you for, taking the time out and just holding a vibe. It's nice, yeah?
Yes, I give thanks, man. Thanks for having me on the program, and I mean, big up everybody who tune in, Yeah, man, keep vibes going, positive.
Definitely.
Family,
We'll keep the link.
Yeah. Yes, every time.
All right, speak soon.
All right, sister, give thanks.